I believe that no matter how much sin you commit, your punishment, however harsh and however long, can only be finite, as we can only commit a finite amount of sin. I first like to broaden the definition of sin, sin being anything and everything you do that negatively affects other people, regardless of whether or not it was justified, It comes from a lack of empathy, inability to consider how someone else feels. It goes both ways, but if one party lacks empathy, the actions of all parties will be based on a disregard of empathy and thusly sinful. It could be as evil as cold-blooded muddier like self-defense or being rude to a rude person, even as simple as grounding your kid, taking their phone for their own good, or beating someone in a video game. Feel free to ask me about the specifics. Everyone can be redeemed, but it will take some longer than others. I view it as pure math. No one is without sin, and we all bring bad into the world from momentary disregard for empathy, some more than others. Thusly, when we die, our sinful deeds are tallied not by how we made other people feel, how we affected others. We are no longer in a state of neutrality, and we are dragged to purgatory and forced to experience every ounce of pain and agony we inflicted on others, regardless if it was justified or not. Killed a guy who refused to leave you alone, grabbed you and called you racial slurs, and physically beat you in an attempt to defend yourself. Congratulations, you'll experience the pain of death, the pain you brought upon his or her family, the pain everyone who heard of the case felt against you, those who condemned you as well as your supporters, the people who believe you were justified. If acquitted, you experience the rage and anger of all your enemies. If convicted, you experience the heartbreak and rage of your supporters. It doesn't matter to the powers that be if you were justified, or if it was your only choice. It's the same to them. The simple mathematical principle is that to redeem yourself, you must know the pain you caused others, justified or not. The attacker would also experience the pain of being vilified as well as whatever prison sentence his or her potential victim suffered if convicted. The rage and heartbreak of their victim's supporters. The rage of the victim's opponents, as it was the attacker's actions they led to the victim's reaction, which led to the court case, justified or not. A lesser example: you scold your child for cheating on a very important test. Tell them you cannot trust them for the time being, and ground them for 3 months. Your child, upon death, will experience your stress and anxiety upon finding this out, but you will experience the fear, confusion, and frustration your child went through as you punished them. After this, you are both redeemed. In both cases, after knowing in your bones the suffering you cause others, you are asked, in general, if you understand the pain, if you would have done something differently, if you accept there was a better way to handle it, if you'd be open to speaking to the person you hurt, knowing they too experienced all the pain they inflicted upon you. The powers that be ask if you have empathy. I believe most people would say yes, either that they were wrong or that they wish they had more power, so they could have handled it differently, that they lost more than they gained, regardless of whether or not their actions were justified. After this, in the same fashion, they will experience all the good things they brought upon the world, all the happiness, joy, peace, etc. before ascending to a higher plane of existence. Like I said, it will take some longer than others to redeem themselves. Rest, such as the CEO of a company, the president, politicians, the court. Their decisions impact the lives of hundreds of millions of everyday. A war would condemn millions to death and many more to financial ruin. Lengthy prison sentences for draft dodging, racial hatred, and more. Upon death, the brass would experience all of this, all of it, for however long it lasted. If a Roman emperor personally signed a war against a neighboring tribe, they will experience the pain of every person that has died as a direct and indirect result of the war, the heartbreak of their loved ones, the dread and fear of being drafted, looming militias, pillaging, burning, every ounce of it. Or worse, let's say, the folks in Europe during the age of exploration who decided to write into law the pillaging and enslavement of Africa. They will not only experience the agony of every single African that was captured, whipped, but the pain of the white men who did the dirty work on their behalf and got burned for it, drowned, speared, or shot in self-defense, not only in their lifetime, not only in their century. As long as racism against black people exists in America, those men and women will experience every ounce of agony black Americans feel every day, and the agony of every innocent and guilty white person that suffers from the occasional backlash, until society progresses to the point their actions no longer hold weight. Back to that self-defense case. Say it happened in America. The accused was black and the attacker was white. If that case were to ever be affected by racism against black people or reactionary backlash against white people, these 15th century bigwigs would consider every ounce of pain everyone involved experienced, and after it's said and done, they would consider it toothless compared to the pain they suffered beforehand and the pain to come. This is because they have power in the world. The crux of it all, to exercise power in this world, is to incur the judgment of the powers above, as they view it as playing justified or not, your only choice or not, harming people with the power those above have allowed you to have in. The world comes with a price, whether because you are malicious, or simply failed to account. Power comes at a cost. But like I said, everyone can be redeemed. Some take longer than others. Do others as you wish to be done to you, and have empathy. Please.